Hello, everyone. It's Brian here in Toronto. Now, there is a thread circulating in the vinyl community started by Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame, called Push the Button. The idea is you use the random item generator in Discogs to come up with 10 records that you will talk about. Now, if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I used to do exactly that on my channel, using the Discogs app on my phone. So if you have the app on your phone and you're viewing your collection and you shake your phone, it will display a random item, as it does if you are using your computer and you click the random item generator. I stopped doing it because the Discogs app essentially is garbage. Some time ago, I received an email from Discogs asking if I would like to test the new app for Discogs, which I did. I'm sure other people must have gotten that invitation as well. And after using it for a while, I made the decision to delete the app from my phone. Part of the reason was that in the past, when I had the Discogs app, I also had a Google Chrome tab open in which I had Discogs up. And I used that in preference to the app all the time, except for shaking my phone. However, with the new app, for some reason, when I click on any links in Chrome in Discogs, it opens the app. And I found the new Discogs app to be even worse than the one it replaced. I don't understand why they can't create a usable app. I think it's garbage. I no longer have it on my phone, but this is a good reminder to restart the random records things. After I stopped using the Discogs app, I did do a few of those Mazzy style polls, which, I've done several of those. So I'm going to take part in this thread. I'm going to do 10 things. I'm going to stop the video, do 10 without you watching me do it, and then we'll show you what I found. So I'm back with the records. It's actually 11, but you'll understand why when I go through them. Also, I hate to say I cheated, but in fact, once I was clicking and the very next record that came up was another record from the same band, so I thought that was weird. And I skipped compact discs. So here we go. First thing is a record from Echo and the Bunnymen called It's All Live Now from 2017. This is a limited edition item. I think it actually says how many there were. I have 878. And the interesting thing about this record is that of the tracks, I think there are 10 tracks. I should count them. I think there are 10 tracks or 11 tracks. Only 2 are Echo and the Bunnymen originals. The rest are cover versions. So let's pull this out. So it's in a polyline sleeve, the usual Echo and the Bunnymen Kurova label. Sounds great though. This really good pressing. And there's a bit of an essay here. And I think it's probably, if you know the band, you might know that they do cover versions quite a lot. So it's not that strange, but so there are, in fact, 10 tracks. It starts with She Cracked, the Jonathan Richman Modern Lovers track. It's All Over Now, Baby Blue from Bob Dylan. Soul Kitchen for The Doors. We have Action Woman, a song I wasn't familiar with, but apparently it's from a band called The Litter. Paint It Black by the Stones. We have Run, 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 the old Velvet Underground song by Lou Reed. Friction from Television, Crocodiles, which is an Echo and the Bunnymen track, Heroin, another Velvet Underground song, and Do It Clean, an Echo and the Bunnymen track. And these are all from years ago, so most of these were recorded in 85 in Sweden. There are a couple that are from 83 in London at the Royal Albert Hall. The rest I think were from Sweden, interestingly enough, from 83 or 85. So yeah, I think this is a great album. If you are a fan, you should have this because I think it's actually quite solid. Good album. Oh, and it came in this bag from the Run Out Groove. And then second one that came up is PJ Harvey, To Bring You My Love from 1995. And this, in fact, is my original pressing. I love this record. This remains, even after all the records that came out after it, my favorite PJ Harvey record. It just has such solid tracks like To Bring You My Love, Meets a Monster, Working for the Man, Down by the Water, Send His Love to Me, fantastic. And I saw PJ Harvey on the same weekend I saw King Crimson. So on a Friday night, I went to a concert venue that is about to be destroyed to build a condo, and the opening act was Tricky. The very next night, I went to the Massey Hall to see King Crimson, and the opening act was the California Guitar Trio. And that, of course, was my favorite iteration of King Crimson with Adrian Belew, Trey Gunn. That was a great show. But PJ Harvey, Number 3, Gang of Four, and this is Solid Gold from 1981. I never loved this album cover. I do like the back, though. Reminds me of something you'd see possibly on an XTC record. This is almost as good as their first record. In fact, they're both probably equally good, but maybe I like the first one, Entertainment, a bit better. But Paralyze is on here. The single he'd send, is that what the single he'd send in the army? Maybe. Cheeseburger. Oh man, this is good. What's inside? This is a Canadian pressing. Most of my vintage records are Canadian pressings because that's what we got up here, with some exceptions. Like this one, which is a 12-inch single. So I have a lot of 12-inch singles, as you may know if you've watched. But this is Springsteen's Dancing in the Dark, and you may not be able to see, but it's his extended version here. That's the 6-minute version. The flip side is Pink Cadillac. And this is the track that he wrote at the last minute. I think whoever was working with him, I don't know who it was at the time, said, this is for Born in the USA. You just need one more song because you don't have a single yet. I think he said something like that, even though there were like 7 singles on that album. And he came back the next day with Dancing in the Dark. Pretty amazing. So this is the 6-minute version of Dancing in the Dark. Now, this is sealed still. I have other Bruce Springsteen 12-inch singles. It's flat, though. 12-inch singles that are sealed. I guess I didn't open it because I have this version on a different 12-inch single. In fact, I have one Dancing in the Dark 12-inch single that has 3 or 4 versions of it. And I have a picture disc, and I have a box set of 12-inch singles from the Born in the USA era. Cheapy's Warehouse, $5.98. I don't know, did I make money or not? Anyway, this is a UK pressing. Not much else I can say about that, except... actually, I don't mind that song. I was up and down on Born in the USA. After a while, I hated it, and then I kind of came back to it years later. But that's probably something for a different video, because I have a lot of Springsteen records. Next, we have the, I guess, final Pink Floyd record called Endless River. Weirdly, this is a gatefold, and I've never taken the plastic wrap off. Not because I wanted to preserve the hype sticker like JC at the flip side, but possibly because I didn't like this album as much as I thought I would, so I never bothered to open it up. On the other hand, I got an astounding deal on this. I think I paid $8 for this, a new copy. It's instrumental apart from the last track, Louder Than Words. Yeah, I guess I was hoping for something more, and I don't know. It's just black vinyl version. I think is there only a black vinyl version, possibly? Second record sleeve looks pretty similar to the first. There is this nice book, though, which has apparently unseen photographs. There's some information about the tracks. So, in some respects, a bittersweet thing. I think there's a download card, which I don't think I've ever used. All right, so yeah, a little underwhelming. I think it's competent. I do like ambient instrumental music, but I guess I was hoping for something else from Pink Floyd, maybe. All right, here is a David Bowie compilation called Fame and Fashion, David Bowie's all-time greatest hits, and you'll notice digitally remastered. This is a Canadian pressing. I don't know if this came out in other markets. I have a similar one called Chameleon or something like that. It was from the country of Australia. But this has, there's undisputed excellent tracks on here, like Space Odyssey, Changes, Starman, 1984, Young Americans, Fame, Golden Years, TVC 15, Heroes, DJ Fashion, Ashes to Ashes. So a solid compilation. I've never sat down and compared, how those digitally remastered things sound to the originals, but your basic RCA label. But yeah, not bad. I don't know when I got this, or why, or at what stage of my interest in Bowie. I don't know. Nico, Camera Obscura, which is her last studio recording in 1985. This is obviously a repress. It's limited edition blue vinyl from Beggar's Archive. And it actually says the final studio album from the Velvet Underground's Nico. Now, that's a pretty funny thing to say because, she only appeared on one record. To call it the Velvet Underground's Nico is a little strange. Produced by John Cale. Here's the back. And it is in fact on blue vinyl. I think this came from Germany or something. I think the pressing is, well, I could be wrong, but it doesn't actually say. I think this is actually a really good record. I liked all of the stuff she did solo. I wasn't thrilled the first time I heard the Velvet Underground and Nico because I thought the album would have been better without her, but I've grown to like it. And I liked all of her solo records. Obviously, the ones produced by John Cale, maybe I liked just a little bit better, but this is actually good. It's weirdly has My Funny Valentine, which is strange, but the opening track, Camera Obscura, really good. This is a man who put out a lot of live records. So this is Gary Newman Live, White Noise. It's a double vinyl set. And he, as I said, he put out a lot of live records. Some were good, some were better. This is from the Hammersmith Odeon in 1984. And it does have a track listing you would expect from that time period. My only beef with this album, maybe not as beef, my only I guess the thing I don't like about it is that it includes some tracks from Berserker, which is an album that never really appealed to me. So in fact, it starts with Berserker. But I would say those tracks sound better live than maybe on the record itself. But it has, old tracks that you would expect, like Metal, Me, I Disconnect From You, Music for Chameleons, Down in the Park, of course, I Die, You Die, Cars, We Take Mystery to Bed from I Assassin, We Are Glass, Our Friends Electric wraps it up, and just your standard Gary Newman labels. So one of his better live records. I think there's a whole video of this you can find on YouTube. But I think Living Ornaments is probably more well known than this one. But this is actually pretty good. And I actually think this is an import now that I'm looking at it from the UK. Now the next one I chose two records because you'll understand why in a moment. Because I pulled out, it brought up this compilation from the Tragically Hip called Your Favorites Volume 1. So of course I had to pick out Your Favorites Volume 2. Now all these tracks were originally released on a double compact disc. And my memory of this is that when they were creating the package, they asked for fan input for at least some of the tracks. I'm going to mess some of that up, but I think they asked for fan input. So this is, if you don't know the Tragically Hip and you want to get introduced to the Tragically Hip, you can probably find that CD package, the double thing, for a few dollars. I recommend it because it hits the highlights. And if you don't think you like them, or if you don't know, this is a way to find out. Apparently there are 7 tracks from their first full-length record, I think. No, maybe their third record. I can't remember now. Fully Completely, I think there's 7 tracks. So this has like all the best Tragically Hip songs, without the deep cuts that all the fans would know, but No Threat, Grace 2, My Music at Work, 38 Years Old, Ahead by a Century, Vaccination Scar, 3 Pistols, blah, blah, blah. Looking for a Place to Happen, Blow It High Dough, Weed Kings, 50 Mission Cap. I'm skipping some. New Orleans is Sinking, Courage, wow, Bob Cage and Nautical Disaster. This 100th Meridian, Locked in the Trunk of a Car. So there are, how many tracks are on here? 5, 10, 14, I don't know. I can't even tell you. So inside we have 2 records each. And this one folds out into a giant Your Favorites poster, plus some images and information on the other side. And the second record has also 2 records inside, different labels slightly, and then another giant Your Favorites Volume 2 poster with also some information, track listing. What else can I tell you? I don't know. Pretty cool. So I recommend that for the Tragically Hip fans and people who don't know. I'm making a mess here. They are Tragically Hip fans, destroying things. And then lastly, record 10, which is really record 11. It's kind of a funny one because it's Phil Collins, No Jacket Required, the third of his records with his face on the cover. And that is a really unappealing photo. What's with the red there? I mean, is he trying to look like the devil and he's got sweat on his nose or something? There's the back. Phil Collins, obviously the singer in Genesis after Peter Gabriel left, and before, because he did sing some tracks before. His first record, Face Value, I will say is something I could still listen to. The second album, Hello, I Must Be Going, has a couple of things that are okay. It's kind of that Motown influence thing. And then we get to this record, which I think suffers from really bad production. It's 1985, and I mean, Sussudio. Does anything sound more 1985 than that? One More Night is one of those Phil Collins songs I just can't abide anymore. Don't Lose My Number. Doesn't Anybody Stay Together anymore? The only track that I think I could still listen to is Take Me Home. I think that's kind of an upbeat sort of okay song. But Hugh Padgham, that's how you pronounce it, is the co-producer, and I think it shows. There's Phil. Yeah, I'm not sure I love that suit, but I guess it suits the era. So I have no idea the last time I listened to this record. Why do I still have it? I don't know. I guess I'm sentimental at some level, but there you have it. No jacket required, and yet he's wearing a jacket. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.